Right, come on then, let's put the disappointment of the playoffs and last season behind us. This has to be the last year that we play in the Conference North, because surely, sooner or later, they're going to lose patience with me and fire me if I don't start getting them out of this league. If I recall, they wanted the Champions League. So we need to push on. We've signed a whole heap of players. I think we've got the best squad we've ever had. Let's go win the league. Hello and welcome to part 17 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're going to be having a look through all of our summer ins and outs, plus playing the first game of the new Vanarama National League North season against Chester. But we have had a busy summer. Lots of players leaving, lots of players arriving. If we start with the players who we've released, there's a lot of familiar names on here. We've had a bit of a clear out of some of the deadwood that we had knocking around the place. Alex Henschel, Brady Hickey, David Miller, all gone. Jack Lancaster, I would have liked to have kept him. He had bags of potential, but he didn't want to stay, so he's moved on. And T's gone. A bunch of the youth players who came through are all gone. Plus, Trotman wouldn't sign anything other than a month-to-month contract with us, so we signed him to one of them, and then he went to Kidderminster. So he obviously he was just engineering a way out of the club. I don't know why he didn't just reject a contract and leave. I guess he was looking for a little insurance option for himself, but he's moved on as well, and we've replaced him with a whole load of players on free transfers. No loans yet. I'm trying to be a little bit smart with the loans this year, and rather than using them to fill out the squad at the start, I'm going to use them to bring in players who can make a real difference when they're needed later in the season, whether it's replacing an injury or offering us something different or allowing us to do a tactical change mid-year. I'm trying to be a bit smart with it. Plus, when we've got the wage budget to play with that we have, we can afford to do this. So we'll quickly bounce through them all as normal. If you want to look at any of them in a little more detail, just pause on them, have a little nose. But I'm going to go through them fairly quickly. So we've got James Smith, who's an attacking midfielder. He's going to be understudy to Nicholson this year. He's a new Lancaster, although we've actually got him on a hot prospect contract this year rather than a first team one like last year. So hopefully he's not going to ask to leave. He's 2.5 star current ability, 4 star potential. He was at Bromley last year, Kettering the year before, but he was originally a product of West Brom. He's never really been spectacular in non-league. That's why he's a backup player. It's kind of his last chance, I think, and hopefully he'll be awesome. Someone who I really hope will be awesome. We've signed a few strikers, and this is one of them. Few strikers on a lot of money as well. Ben Tomlinson's 29 years old, 3 star current ability. He's defensive forward or target man, so a little bit different to what we get with Ashley Chambers. A replacement for Elliot Rocker, really, who started to let us down in the second half of last year. Tomlinson's been around a little bit in the non-league and in the lower leagues. Scored lots of goals at this level in the past, most notably for Lincoln many years ago. I mean, it's not that long ago, it's like 5 years ago now. But was with Boston last year and scored at a decent-ish rate. And it's not, the key thing is the 10 assists. We're trying to set up a system that is going to create even more goals for Ashley Chambers. Or our other poacher, who did we? I think we signed one. I can't even remember what we signed now. I did it all yesterday. AJ George just comes in permanently. We had him on loan last year. We've been able to pick him up permanently. It seemed. I mean, he was one of our best players last year. So obviously we were going to bring him in permanently if the opportunity presented itself. He's in on non-contract because that's all he'd sign, but at least he's here. Owen Wheeler is a familiar face from anyone who watched non-league to legend right at the start this year. He was our keeper at Alfreton, and he was rubbish. But he's got decent potential. He's happy to come in as a hot prospect so he can be a backup. But we've got a decent-ish backup keeper who's played games at this level previously. So it, again, seemed like a bit of a no-brainer. Lewis Robles was available but wouldn't come to me. Again, for those of you watching non-league to legend as well. Ben Jefford is a left back, 24 years old, 2.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential ability. Comes in from Welling, lots of non-league experience. Never really been a first teamer anywhere, but he might not even be a first teamer for us either. Again, there's quite a trend of players only willing to come in on non-contract basis, which is fine because it saves us money. Just seems a little bit weird. Arlen Birch, another fullback, another non-contracted player. This one's a right back, 2.5 star current ability, 4 star potential ability, previously of Burnley and Everton. Never played in a game for either of them though, so be interesting to see how he develops. Lewis Rogers is another right back, 20 years old, 2.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential ability, and he is here from Watford and played a full season in the National League South 2 years ago. Wasn't great, but at least he's got some games under his belt. So we've got a little bit of competition for places at right back now. Adam Coombs is another defensive forward option. We're kind of writing off Elliot Rocker, not necessarily because he wasn't good enough to be a backup. I think he probably is. But he's another one who refused to sign a proper contract. And after what happened with Trotman, I didn't want Rocker to just be able to leave 3 games into the season and us not have a backup defensive forward. So we've got Coombs and Tomlinson who are going to offer competition for each other in that role. Coombs is 28, 3.5-star current ability, can play again, defensive forward, target man, can fill in as a poacher as well for us. And he was at Sutton United last year. Been around a little bit. Another one of these who was at Chelsea for far too long by the looks of him. If he's 28 now, he's not left Chelsea until he's like 23, 24, and then just tumbled straight into the non-league. He's had that one good season with Sutton United, and hopefully he can replicate that for us. It's similar sort of level to what he was playing at for them, so fingers crossed. Alex Patterson is a bit of a risk. He's a midfielder or attacking midfielder, 2.5-star current ability, 4.5-star potential ability. I don't really see it as necessarily a spot in the team for him, but he was the highest scout rating player. That he was like rated an 85 after I'd pretty much finished my purchases. I didn't really have a squad spot for him, but he looked so good that we brought him in anyway. Joe Anderson's just another option at left back, and we've got a few of them now as well. Again, at this point, I was kind of done with my squad building, and just if I saw someone exceptional, I'd bring him in. So Joe Anderson's 18 years old, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential, comes in from Everton. Alex Willis is a striker. I knew we'd brought in another poacher. So he's the guy who's going to be understudy to Chambers this year. A proper poacher, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, comes in from Charlton, but was at Poole last year in the National League South, scoring at a goal every other game, aged 18. So hopefully he's got some goals in him for us. And then Lewis Freestone I've just brought him in because he's Jordan Nicholson's mate. He's at Posh in real life as a youth player. Left back, 19 years old, 2.5-star current ability, 5-star potential. We've now got a lot of left backs, including Akalani, who didn't go to Udinese, and they're no longer interested. Freestone has had half a season at Gainsborough at this level. Again, nothing spectacular, but I can live with that. But I guess the big news of the summer is that Luca Akalani no longer wanted by Udinese, no longer wanted by anyone other than us, but he is now level with Jordan Nicholson on the star ratings as our best player, and he's going to be part of our new look back four. And we are going to go with a 4-3-1-2 for this season. We used it in the playoffs, and that worked really well, but you know, we did a season and a half of 3-5-2. It wasn't getting us anywhere. We've got to try something a little bit different. And, you know, this is my version of trying something a little bit different, using the tactic I've been using for 2 years on YouTube. But if this doesn't work, I don't know what will. So we're going to have Linus in goal. A back four of New Boy Anderson, Kalani and Clark, who are pretty much our only established partnership in the team, apart from Nicholson and Chambers. With Birch, another new boy at right back. Patterson is that new midfield player who I didn't know what to do with, so he's on a position he's not really comfortable doing, because I don't really know what to do with him. We'll try him as a box-to-box midfielder today. Wheatley's going to be our defensive midfielder, and then El Bekri finally back in the team because we're playing a system that suits him again. It has an advanced playmaker on attack. El Bekri's good at that, so he's going to be straight into the team again, meaning AJ George, who was a regular in our team last year, is going to start the season on the bench. And then we've got Nicholson up in behind, Chambers as the poacher, who is the bookies' favourite to be top scorer in this league this year. 8-1 favourite. And then we've gone for Adam Coombs with Tomlinson on the bench today. We've also got new boy Lewis Freestone on the bench. Wheeler is going to get used to sitting on the bench. He'll be there a lot over the next couple of seasons. And Niall Heaton as a backup centre back. So let's get into this game. In fact, blow your nose first, Kev. Goodness me, the winter's awful. Right, into the game then. Submit team. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know how players get to the start of the season not being match fit. We play so many friendlies and rotate the team so much that they should be fit, but it just seems impossible to get the entire squad fit. What I should probably do is focus on my first 11 and get them fit, but to miss out by 2 players, I can live with that. That's why I'm still stuck in the National League North, because of attitudes like that. Kalani heads clear because he's an absolute hero, and we want to start the season with a bang. Oh my goodness me. It genuinely, if we get to Christmas and we're not in the top 2 or 3, I just don't know what we can possibly do next. I'm never going to get this kind of money again at this level. Nuneaton, I mean, we can't even leave Nuneaton this save. But I wouldn't want to because we've got so much money. Looking around at the other teams, that are at this level who we're competing with, apart from when you get a big team who come down from a higher league and come down with a load of cash like Kidderminster did last year. But if we compare it to the teams we've managed in non-league to legend, we've got 4 times the wage budget. We can bring in anyone we want. I had my pick of everybody. The only player we missed out on was Lewis Robles, and I suspect he wouldn't get in this team because he'd be up against Ashley Chambers. And all that, we've got my super tactic that's never failed me. We've got every player I possibly wanted. I know we've brought in a lot of players, so it'll take them a little bit of time to gel with the dynamics and all that stuff, but not many of them are starting. And here we are, first day of the season, at home, feeling really positive, and we're 2-0 down after 7 minutes. Right, Chambers needs to grab one back here, just to lift the mood a little bit. And I think if I was a Nuneaton fan at this point, I'd be booing, because 2 seasons in a row, this is the 3rd season in a row, we've started with talk of this is the year we're going to get promotion. Although the board are only expecting mid-table, the media are only expecting mid-table. Even now this year, the board and the media are only looking for mid-table. I'm not getting sacked unless we get relegated. Nicholson's in and misses. But the fans, surely, after so many seasons of me saying we're going up this year, we're going to be good, they've got to start thinking, well, he keeps telling us we're going to get promoted and then not doing it. Let's get frustrated and start booing him. And I think I'd be pretty miffed. First day of the season, with all the positivity I was spouting beforehand, to then have to sit and watch this. He said he was going to have a new tactical idea. All he's done is move one of the defenders into midfield. We never had a problem scoring. We just conceded too many goals. And his solution was take a defender away. Yeah, I know. We might drop we might perhaps do a diamond. Drop a central midfielder back. Push the fullbacks on a little bit more. And then we just get back into we may as well do a back 3 then. Because this is the process we went through when we ended up with the back 3. But this clearly doesn't work. It didn't work against York in the playoffs, and it's really not working against Chester here in the first game of the season, because to be 3-0 down at home before half-time on the first day of the season is just not good enough. How good are Chester? Are they... I mean, they've not just come down, have they? Hold on, let's... No, they finished below us last year. Aye. I just don't know what to do. Oh, a few of the players reacted positively, did they? Good. I'm glad they reacted positively. I mean, that's not working, clearly. AJ George can come in. We've not got a box-to-box midfielder, I guess. Does that work? Can he do it? No. So let's push you on. Push you on. Have you just anchor. The thing is, he's the only defensive midfielder we've got, and he's not very good at that. So it's probably not the best idea we've ever had. But I can't send them out for the second half and not change anything, because I'd sack myself. Right, here we go. We've got proper wing-backs again now. Push on, get us some width. And if this doesn't work, we'll go back to the 3-5-2. We've still got plenty of central defenders around. We can do it. All our new fullbacks can all play wing-back as well. They're attacking fullbacks. So we've got the flexibility to chop and change between those two systems at least. What we don't have is any wide midfield players. So if we decide we want to try something like a 4-4-2, a 4-2-3-1, anything like that, then we've not got, or a 4-3-3, we've not got the players to do that. We've just got a goal back though, so that's positive, because it's come from our new overlapping wing back that we've put in place. So, and there's Coombs with a header, scores on his debut. If we can come back into this in this second half, and I don't even necessarily have to win the game at this point, but show enough that, okay, we had the balance a little bit wrong, but now we've got an extra player anchoring and pushing the wing backs on, and it now looks good, then I feel a little bit more positive. Birch so far forward. We're camped out in their area. This is awesome. I like it. Right, Birch back to Wheatley. Out to Anderson, who's in loads of space. Cross comes in, and it's Ashley Chambers, and it's 3-2. And in the first 15 minutes of this second half, we've got 2 goals back, and now our tails are up. We want this now. It's all of a sudden turning into a ridiculous adventure of a first day of the season. And Kev did tactics halfway through. This is This is unheard of. A tactical change half a match into the first game of the new season, after I spent my whole summer building a squad to play 4-3-1-2. I know it's not a massive tactical change, but I am going to have to go out and sign a defensive midfielder if this is what we're going to be doing. Chambers probably should have scored there. We've had good chances, both with Chambers there. Jordan Nicholson in the first half had a good chance. We could be ahead in this game. In fact, we've had 4 clear-cut chances and they've had none. Perhaps we were just really unlucky in that first half. I didn't even look at the stats. I just got miserable. Someone go back and review the tapes for me. Did I overreact to changing the system when I did? We don't have anyone. I mean, what we do have, Tomlinson can play left wing, Chambers can play right wing. We could go to a 4-3-3. We're not going to do it now, but it's an option at some point in the future. Luca Ercolani, probably sulking that he didn't get to leave. We'll take him off. Should we try playing Tomlinson and Coombs together? Or, I mean, I might even try this. Just to see if it works. So we'll do that, and then a wide target man. Why not? I've never used one before, and you can be a winger. There, we'll try this. We probably don't want to exploit the middle anymore. But other than that, mix it up again. 2 tactical changes. I mean, that might take all the oomph out of our play, or it might be the most genius, brilliant thing I ever did. Do we want a defensive forward playing with a 4-3-3? I've just realised we've still got that going on. Do we want to change him to a target man? Kenny Clark is an idiot. What an absolute tool. That's our captain, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just watch in 3D. We were in 3D before. Let's just watch on the replay just to see what a moron. I mean, what is he doing? What an absolute idiot. Well, to me, the diamond feels like the most interesting of the 3 options, because that was the one where we won a segment of the game. Every segment where we weren't playing a diamond, we lost. So we go forward and we look at the diamond. I mean, we have been absolutely mugged looking at those stats. We've had more possession, we've had more shots, we've had more clear-cut chances. We've been better better pass completion. We don't deserve to lose this game. El Bekri to Chambers, and it's 4-3 with a minute to go. Are we going to do a 4-4 draw on the first day of the season? I mean, this is ridiculous. So we can still score goals. We just are still going to leak them like nobody's business. We haven't fixed the defence at all over the summer. The back 3 last year didn't really work, and it looks like a back 4 with a holding midfield player doesn't really work either. What we need is a proper anchor man, a real top quality defensive midfield player. We don't have much money left, but we do have all those unused loans. If we can go and find a really, really good defensive midfield player to just sit there and anchor the midfield, then it might not be a complete lost cause. So that's going to be my job between now and our next episode. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content. And thank you very much for watching.